components are changing. And what we know that it's changing, but what we try to do inside is we are holding back the change. And we get agitated because of the change. We get angry because of the change. And ultimately we hate the change.
Yes.
Because we can't change with the change. That's the problem. We can't change with the change. But if we can change with the change, that means we need to accept the change. If we accept the change, that means we are changing with the change. That means we are
Go
at
with the
peace.
flow.
Yes. Go with the flow and accept the flow. Accept that you can only control some things to an extent. This we need to see through the mind. Meditation. How we get attached to desire, how we get attached to feelings, how we get attached to valuations, how we put high values on different things and starts going behind it. This process can be seen because it's a process of the mind. This entire process can be seen in meditation, and that would be the next step. Try that. And another technique is in meditation we let the mind just flow into whichever direction that it's flowing. It might be good, it might be bad. Just let loose all the barriers that the social standings are putting, everything. Just let it loose and see where your mind is trying to take you. It's because of the social barriers, the family barriers, this, that, everything ties us to a chain, and we are in this box because of the chain, not the change, chain, because of the chain. But when nobody is looking, when nobody knows, what do we really want to do?
Come out of the box.
Exactly. If somebody is not looking at us, if we can break the rules and we don't have to pay any penalty, then what do we really want to do?
Open yourself up.
When we open this, when we let only in the meditation, when we let the chains guard down, when we let the chains drop down, we can really see through our mind. We can really see what we really desire. Then we come back and we think, okay, I can do this, and I can then do this, and then do this, and then do this. It will take us in a track that we will not even imagine. Because that's what we can get up to if we really don't have the rules. It's just because of the rules we're staying like this. Because I want to be the good person. I want to be the best mother, the best father, the best sister, the best brother, the best lover, the best wife, the best husband. Because of that, I'm attaching myself with the rules and keeping myself like that. But what if this breaks? What if we can keep the rules aside and we can be anything that we want? What are we going to be? That directly takes you to the desire that you have been holding deep within yourself. And then you take that desire, let it go, let the mind go, and it will stop somewhere. Then ask yourself, now by doing this, will I actually feel happy? Or am I going to regret it one day? Then you start coming back, because the valuation goes down. It's the curiosity. Humans are curious.
Yeah.
That's why we come this far. That's why we go to the moon and go to the planets and discover new things. We are never satisfied with what we have. We seem to be telling ourselves we are satisfied for a short time. But then we want more of this and more of this and more of this and more of this. It's because of the curiosity. Curiosity kills the cat. Because of the curiosity, we go and search. And what if we can do that? Give the mind the curiosity that it's searching for. Let it go and land somewhere. And then think, okay, now I have this also. Am I going to be happy with this? This is what I really wanted. Okay, fine, I'm having that. No barriers, nobody to see, nobody to judge, nothing to do. When I have what I really wanted, really desired, can I be happy in this state, and for how long? This is the next question. For how long am I going to be happy in that particular state? You will know that you're not going to be happy for too long.
Even for a few seconds?
Yes, for a few seconds. But what is the point in being happy for a day, two, whatever, and then you're going to regret the entire process after that? You see? Then the valuation of it comes down. Then you're not going to do it. Because in your mind you have already done it and you've experienced it. This curiosity has made you experience the limits. And then you have discovered this valuation. Whatever you wanted is not going to last. And then the valuation drops and actually you can let it go. So try this method as well.
Now some of the statues of Buddha, there is a concentric circles right here where the third eye is.
Mm-hmm.
So did Buddha talk about the third eye, or what's the concept of the third eye? Is there a connection between meditation and the third eye?
There is a connection between the meditation and the third eye. Third eye meaning the wisdom.
Intuition.
Intuition and wisdom. It's more connected to wisdom. It's like knowledge only. We can gain knowledge, but we can only go to a certain extent in knowledge. There are barriers in knowledge. Now we have to understand this. Knowledge means one thing. Wisdom means a completely different thing. We always get these two mixed up. That's the problem. Knowledge is always, there's a barrier. We can only reach up to a certain amount in knowledge. But wisdom is something completely different.
Is wisdom come from inside? Is the innate
This
thing?
is the third eye part that we're talking about.
Okay.
Because we need a point to show in the body, you can take it as the third eye. But this wisdom is definitely not just connected only to here. It's something that we gain.
Anatomically and physiologically, they have found a connection between the pineal gland and the third so-called third eye.
Yes.
And the pineal gland is actually rudimentary that is not been used enough. So that just shows that we are not using it enough.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Because by knowledge we can reach out to PhDs and whatever.
Right.
That's exactly my point. You do 10 PhDs, but you cannot compare the wisdom to the PhDs. No matter how many PhDs you do, you will never be able to judge what wisdom is.
Right.
Because wisdom needs to be gained. It cannot be taken. It just needs to come. Hetu pala. It's a pala. You need to gain it. It's like honor. You can make somebody really scared and make them bow down to you. But that is not real honor. Somebody feels a lot of gratitude and honors that person. That is different. It's something like that. So the wisdom part is something so much more different than knowledge. Knowledge will always have a barrier, but wisdom does not have barriers. It surpasses all levels. So what we are actually hoping to gain through even the Dhamma disclosures is this wisdom part. And to gain the wisdom, you should cleanse the mind. Without cleansing the mind, you will never be able to gain the wisdom part.
Amazing, right?
It's amazing.
Everything is amazing.
It is a very amazing fact. I think that science is also reaching up to it, slowly but surely.
That's why they say that somebody said that Albert Einstein had the knowledge, but he didn't have the wisdom. That's why he made that bomb and thing, that he did not think about it. The wisdom he didn't have, but the knowledge he had. This was his.
තෙරණිමා අපි සුප්පක වළඳලා ඊට පස්සේ ඇවිල්ලා කතා කරන්න මහන්සි ඇතිනේ
තව ටික වෙලාවකින් කතා කරන්න කමක්.
You're going back to Sri Lanka tomorrow.
Oh, I am day after.
Day after.
So tomorrow would be our last program here, but it's a day session that we are hoping to do, and then I fly back next day early morning. My flight is at 8 o'clock.
What else you want? What else you want to ask for me?
Well, I asked
We had a very interesting conversation for about, I don't know, 2 hours?
Yeah.
2 hours?
About 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours.
I told him he went to India to get that bhavana thing, meditation, and I tell that is laukika, but you have to go through the lokottara to attain nirvana. I told him he can't understand the laukika lokottara.
We had a little conversation the other day. She said, I don't want to come back here, suffering and all that, what we were talking about, right? I said, no, I don't feel that way. I want to come back.
Come back. He said, I want to come back.
I want to see how much further we can technologically advance, and I want to see this. It's interesting, and I want to see my children's grandchildren's kids and all that. So,
Can you?
So I want to come back. So she said, no, I don't want to come back. No, it's all suffering. I said, no, it's not suffering.
No, now we think that it's suffering.
When you say you want to come back, what you mean is to the world.
Yeah, I mean, born again.
Born again to the world.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to remember this?
This?
You're going to remember this? No. The grandchildren and the children and the wife and the city and the... That's the catch. You see, if we can start where we left, there is no problem with it.
Yeah.
If we can actually start where we left in a past life, we don't need nirvana. This would be nirvana. The problem is we're never going to get that again. It's an evolving circle. That's the thing. You're not going to definitely find your wife. Not going to find the kids. Not going to find the profession. And if this changes, what's going to happen? We are going to start from zero again, and then build it up and build it up and build it up and build it up, and then leave it again. That is the problem. Otherwise, this would be paradise. This would be heaven. It would just stay like this. If we can have that here, we don't need nirvana or nirvana. We don't need it because we have it. But it's because we don't have it, or we think we have it, when we just seem to be achieving everything that we want in life, then it's time to go.
But then isn't that up to the person to be happy and to create what you want and be with it?
Yeah, but then just imagine the suffering you go through to create that. And when you just realize that you really have everything that you really want, exactly the way you want, what if you're driving in your, what's the best car you have here? Best car? Lamborghini. Okay.
No, for me, no. For me, Mercedes.
You definitely, yes.
For me, Mercedes. Lamborghini makes so much noise that the whole
Maybe a Benz or a BMW.
Yes.
I want a quiet car. Mercedes is very quiet.
Okay, Mercedes is fine. Mercedes, and you're having the perfect wife, the children, the grandchildren, the 8-bedroom house, your career is flying with $1 million coming in, absolutely no problem. You can donate to whatever you want, the Sahaya Ashram or temples in Sri Lanka, that also you do. And then you suddenly get a heart attack. You're in the freeway and you get a heart attack. What would be your thought?
Oh God.
Now, do you...
Oh God. Now I have to leave everything that I've built so much.
The answer to that one, in my case, is I'm taking steps to prevent the heart attack. which I have been doing for about 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taking certain supplements
Yes.
that will not block your arteries. So I've been doing that.
But when that, after that 25 years,
Pardon?
after that 30 years, I'll give another 5 more.
Yeah, that's
After that 30 years,
What if you meet with an accident?
After that, what?
After that 30
After
years.
that, just so
That's a
into
good
it.
point. It's a very, very good point. We take all the supplements just to prevent. Now we have a cardiac disease.
Right.
Okay, doctor? So now we take all the supplements to make sure my health is okay. But what if you meet an accident?
Yeah, that you can't prevent.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the point.
But as long as you do,
It's karma.
yeah, somebody else doing a wrong thing and hitting.
Yeah, you might be a perfect driver, no problem. Some truck comes and hits you,
No.
and then that's your last moment. Then we go back
Now
again.
this can happen even at a happiest time.
Yes.
Example,
Yes.
5 months ago,
Hmm.
I went to a house.
Hmm.
We had bhajan there,
Okay.
and I really enjoyed about 2 hours of playing flute and singing and with the crowd, and I was very happy. So I got into my new Mercedes, beautiful
Oh,
white new
yeah,
Mercedes.
Yes.
I was happy, and I was thinking about Swami and driving down.
Hmm.
And I looked up and down, I didn't see any car there. Then suddenly, so I turned, and suddenly I heard a big bang, and my car goes right like that, and then I'm done. So to see another lady in a hurry hit my backside, and I was still able to drive the car. So, so anyway, to make a long story short, they totaled the car. That means
Okay.
there's no good in it.
Yes.
So I said, I was thinking when you're driving back, I did a good thing.
Yeah.
I went to
And why
Bajan.
you-
I was happy, and I had no bad things in me. I wasn't thinking of accidents, and suddenly this happened.
Yeah.
So then I couldn't have prevented it.
Yes, you can't prevent it. That's the problem. That you can't prevent it.
So
And what if
certain
it
things-
was the last moments of a person's life? And then you need to leave everything behind and then go somewhere else that which you don't know where you're going. If we did know, at least if we did know that, that would be a little bit of consolation, isn't it? That also we don't know where we would go. And then when we go there, we start from scratch, again building this entire process.
If you come to this world.
If it comes to this world or even another different world.
So telling the answer, so the rebirth
Mm.
and habits.
Yes.
It's also gives sometimes in person, in person's death has happened. Some kind of stuff goes to the other life
Yes. Through Vijnana.
through Vijnana.
Yes. But then again, you have to start from scratch. You don't know which karmic effect you will have there and whether you are going to have all of these good conditions that you had in the previous life. Because even in the previous life, you never expected to be hit by another car when you were just coming out of a ritual, which is a good ritual. You never expected that. Now, how can we expect that the next life is going to give us all the comforts that we so desire? And our education is going to fly, the family members are going to rejoin us. Huh? Everything.
How these people, some of them, they speak the rebirth.
Yes, you can to an extent, but can you guarantee?
No, I am.
That is where the suffering
I am
comes. That part is, that's what I'm trying to show you. See, that is where the real suffering is. We go through the life putting the patches to little things, but the real suffering is, it hits you when you build everything and then you need to let go of everything. We can't let go of everything. And we hold on to certain things and then we move on to the next life and we start building again. To build itself is suffering. Does somebody else pay your mortgage here? Do they? Where are the answers? Do they? No. Well, I believe that this was being told to me. I don't know whether this is true or not, but insurance, health insurance is very costly in the States. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, it's sick insurance.
It's not medical, it's
Not
sick.
It's not health insurance, it's sick insurance.
It's sick insurance, okay. So the sick insurance, now you are only able to pay the sick insurance if you actually earn something, isn't it? And what if you lose your job for about 1-2 years?
No medicine.
And
That's-
don't you think you're going to get sick
Yeah.
for 2 years?
Of course,
Yeah.
he gets sick.
And
yes.
then if you meet with an accident and something happens, then the same process. That's the uncertainty of life. See, that's what we try to ignore and then pass. No, this might not happen to me, and then pass. Then we are going from one life to the other life, building. Again, we are going to zero and building again. That's the wave that I spoke to you about. And through all this wave, we are only looking for one thing:
Peace.
peace, happiness, tranquility, relaxation. That's the only thing we're actually looking for. We are doing all this garbage just for this. Everything that we do is connected to the core. It's to gain this. But we're looking outside. That's the problem. Darshan, Buddha Darshan is teaching us to look inward, inside, where the actual problem is in the mind.
Right.
Hmm?
Now, does suffering have different grades?
Yes, it has. It has. It has. In one section, it has so many grades. Take relationships. A person might think having this is less suffering, and having this is more suffering. And for another person, it's a completely different. It's about the attachment and how you get attached to something. That defines the equation.
Again, from inside. Okay, what you make out of it.
In the mind. It's all in the mind.
Yeah.
For an example, a person might think that if I have a husband who gives me a lot of freedom, it's very good. And another person might think, no, if he does these things for me, and if he takes care of me, and if he puts these rules, that is good for me. Two perceptions, two different ideas. In here we see the liberal women. Yeah. Ladies want to be very liberal, they want to do this, they want to have their own jobs, they want to do so many things, but we don't realize that we are actually doing two jobs. We're doing the home job and that job and this job and everything. What if we were treated in the house and I'm not going to talk about it. But for me it's another question mark, because we end up doing that and this when we had the choice of only doing one thing, but still being independent.
Now this question may be a little bit personal, but it's to do with detachment.
Mm.
How were you able to detach from you have a son, right?
Mm.
You said you had a son and your husband, and then go into this kind of life, and how were you able to detach yourself?
I saw what I was really valuing in the son. If you take the son as a person, and I was so attached to my son. And actually it's a very strange incident, doctor, because I have anaphylaxis, and my son, he doesn't have anaphylaxis, but he's almost getting into a condition of anaphylaxis. He has a very, very bad allergy. And he was being rushed to the hospital, and then where he had to stay maybe for two days, and then he came back. And then the next week, I had anaphylaxis and I needed to be treated, and then I had to come back. And in the middle of this, I had to go to Sripada, You remember Sripada, I believe?
Mhm.
So I had to go to Sripada for a very, very specific religious matter. I was not in my robes, obviously, and we needed to perform this, and I was actually organizing the whole thing. And then I had, now this, when this thing came, and it's the next week that we have to travel, and it was a huge complication. I was a single parent by then. I was divorced from my husband. I was a single parent by then, taking care of my son, and he had this bad allergy. I am having anaphylaxis, and in the middle of this, we have to go to Sripada. So, to convince my parents that I'm going to leave the child with them and go to Sripada was one huge barrier that I have to cross. And the second one was, what if I have a second attack? Because I'm allergic to dust and allergic to antibiotics, which makes things even worse. So going up to the Samanalakanda and back is just an 8-hour journey by itself. 6 hours to 8 hours. Let's take it like that. What if I have an anaphylaxis attack at that time? What are they going to do? It's a huge risk. And of course my body is weak after having anaphylaxis. And I was in the hospital, and the next week we needed to travel. So when we were in this group and discussing this, and suddenly, because I've been doing the Vipassana meditation so much, and suddenly it dawned on me that the first thing that dawned on me was, I'm actually trying desperately to find a way to keep my son safely, and for me to go on this huge task that I absolutely needed to do at that time. And if I have to leave the child, even when I'm talking to my 5 members, I'm talking to them, but in the back of my mind I'm thinking, what if I have an anaphylaxis attack? And if I don't survive this, that means this child is going to lose the mother he has as well. He's already lost the father, now he's going to lose the mother that he has. How am I going to face this? And then suddenly it dawned on me that I am thinking about my son, the best for my son, but it's actually not my son I'm thinking about, it's myself that I'm thinking about. Can I live with that? That's the thought which goes in my mind. If I leave this 5-year-old kid and go, and if I am in a huge, big problem and putting his life in danger because of this journey, can I live with that? Can I accept it? Can I actually live with that? This is what was going in my head. And I discovered that yes, I do have the attachment to the child, but I have more of the attachment to my happiness. Through his happiness, I'm actually looking for my happiness. I'm trying to justify myself. If I go on this, he's going to be okay. And if I fall sick on this journey, what is going to happen to him? Because I don't want to be in a mess. Do you see my point? Do you get my point? Indirectly, not directly, but indirectly, I'm actually looking for my happiness, my well-being, and my peace of mind. It's really my peace of mind that I'm looking for. And then I thought, okay, what if I don't go on this journey? If this kid has to lose his mother, will he not lose his mother anyway? If it's destined in a karmic effect, if it's destined that this child will only have his mother for some time, and that mother is also going to pass away, that's something that he will have to face. I can't control this. I discovered that I'm trying to control something which is far beyond my limits. It cannot be controlled. And then it dawned on me that I'm actually trying to control life and death here. It's not only